Hello and welcome to another Michigan Military Technical and Historical Society Museum vehicle restoration update video. It's been a while since we posted one of these. I figured since I was out here, I'd take an opportunity to shoot a short video and show you where we're at on our two Clark projects. So you can see the CA1 is here in front of us. We sent the radiator and the gas tank out to be cleaned and repaired, and we got them back this week. So you see we got the radiator mounted and the gas tank mounted on the CA1. Really the gas tank kind of holds a lot of stuff on this, so it was kind of a key part. And you can see I've got the instrument panel kind of mocked into place right now. I still need to get the oil pressure gauge. I have the temperature gauges back here in a box. I just have to get that put in and get the oil pressure gauges on order. You can see up here, started working out the spark plug wires. Unfortunately, I don't have enough spark plug wire, so I had to order some, and we're still dealing with the apparently with the COVID-related supply chain disruptions, and a lot of stuff's on back order. So hopefully I can get the plug wire material I need so I can make the plug wires and get this thing wired up and lay the wiring harness in it, and we should be at that point hopefully ready to start it and see if it runs. We are still fighting with this seal down here in the forward reverse gearbox. This guy just does not want to stop leaking, so I'm gonna have to pull that seal back out and get a new one. I'm guessing that we tore it or something happened when we put it in. So unfortunately this frame rail is kind of in the way. So right now I'm prepping. I'm going to see if I can slide that frame rail out so I can get in there and pull that seal and hopefully get that leak to stop so we can get the forward reverse gearbox filled up. We're also fighting with a leak down here in the that's the selector for the power takeoff for the winch. That just does another one that just does not want to stop leaking. And you can see what's a great design element here. You see down there is the shaft, and over here is the fill plug. I don't know if you can see that at all. It's down in there. And you see that the fill plug is a good 6 inches above the shaft, so that shaft is way down in the oil level, and so when it leaks it just pours out of there. So I really have to deal with that one. And I don't know, I think we have new seals in them, but I think we just have some wear on the shaft, and it's not like I can go out and just go to the Clark dealership and buy new parts for this. So this one here it's fighting us, but as you can see, it's starting to look pretty good. You notice that we have the suspension back on it. Come around to this side here. Had our good buddy Kurt from the Military Vehicle Collector Club of Michigan machined us these parts. So everything you need to adjust the track, the pillow block that's up here, and then the adjuster rod itself that runs in there. We had one good one, and we had a broken one, and we had one that was pretty good, but it was definitely bent. And so we have two brand new track adjusters in here now that were custom made for us. So you see we got the suspension all put back together. We've got this cover that goes over the adjuster to protect it. Goes like that, and then this flips down over the adjuster, keeps it clean. We fabricated those last year. We have one original that's in semi-decent condition. So we fired up the brake and we got these made. So we've got brand new ones on each side, and then we also made this toolbox back here. The seat goes on top of this, and the toolbox is underneath the seat. So we've got the toolbox that we made. Again, we have an original one, but it was rusted out. Had a big rust hole in the bottom of it here. And it was just paper thin. So we used it as a pattern and got some steel up at Alro Metals and bent this one up, welded her together, and so now we have the toolbox. We have to tackle the seat. Same thing. We have an original seat, but it's kind of rusty and bent and thin. So hopefully we have enough to make a template and make a new seat, get that put on, and then I'm hoping that the hydraulic valve that goes up here and the hydraulic pump that goes down here doesn't fight us the same way as these two seals have been fighting us, and spray hydraulic fluid all over the place when we try to start this thing up. But we'll see. Again, it's not like we can just go out to the Clark dealership and buy parts for this thing. Everything, we either got to make it or we got to figure out what a modern equivalent is. So, but that's where this one's at. And so we'll go over to look at the CT6 here real quick. So same thing's true here. CT6 radiator in the gas tank went out. Were redone. This radiator was completely shot and had to be completely redone. So it's all nice and pretty and new. I do have to get a more period correct radiator cap. That's just on there right now to keep junk out of it. Saying I need to get a radiator hose for here. Well, actually, I take that back. I have this hose. I just need to cut it to length. But I'm waiting until I get the hood, because once the hood is on, that will determine how far back the radiator leans, and then I can cut this hose to length. The hood and the seat for the CT6 are at the sandblasters right now. Hopefully they'll be done this week sometime. We can get those painted and put on, and like I said, the hood kind of determines where everything goes on this. The gas tank sitting back here, the gas tank mounts to the bottom of the hood. So until we get the hood back and the gas tank mounted and the hood up here, we won't be able to determine exactly where this fuel line needs to go. So you'll see this fuel line is just kind of sitting in there uncut, waiting for that. We did wire this. We made a whole wiring harness over the winter, so you can see it's all wired up. It's all plumbed. All the oil lines are run. Oil pressure gauge is plumbed in. Oil filter is all plumbed, is all hard lined, all hard piped. I do need to run a ground wire for the generator yet. I'm trying to figure out where that's supposed to go to, or what a logical place for it to go to is. But once we get the hood back, I need to go out and buy a battery for this, and this one here is ready to go. It's full. It's got oil. The transmission's full. The rear end is almost full. I ran out of gear lube, so I got to go buy some more gear lube and finish top off the rear end. We finally were able to locate the hubcap for the front wheel. I never thought this would be the hardest part to find on this thing, but it has been. But we now have two hubcaps. The wheels need to be sandblasted and painted. With the 12 bolts that hold the dual wheels together, we don't have yet, but we're working on getting those. The tires are on back order. Again, I believe COVID-related supply chain disruptions. So they're telling us we probably won't have tires until July. We'll see. I'm hoping they come in sooner, but we just gotta wait. But that's not going to stop us from firing this thing up and see if it runs, see if those rear wheels turn. And then once the tires come in, we can get it all mounted up, drop this thing on the ground, and hopefully drive it. Like I said, the seats at the sandblasters, you can see we've got the wood cut for the seat cushions. I got to get some foam, and there's a place up the road from here that does boat cushions and stuff like that. I'm going to see if I can get them to make them. Let's see, we got the rear panel is on. We've got our to-do list sitting here, all the things that still need to be done. And you can see that I went out today and bought some exhaust pipe to see if I can fabricate the make the air horn so that it matches up with the air cleaner. Still a little short, so I need to make this a little bit taller. I was hoping I could just use some off-the-shelf exhaust parts, but looks like I'm going to have to do some fabrication on that. See, this thing's really coming along. If the back tires weren't on back order, I'd probably be able to drive this thing in the next couple of weeks. But gotta wait for tires to come in. Let's see the over here we got some more CA1 parts. There's all the hydraulic rams for the blade. The blade is still sitting here on the floor. I really haven't done anything with it. This is the track chain that we're going to use. It just needs to be cleaned up, and we'll probably just throw a coat of black paint on it just to keep it from rusting up anymore. But this one here is not too bad. We have another track chain that's worn pretty badly. But that one there, we've finally got all the pads cut off of it so that we can clean it up. So we're using I think in a previous video I may have mentioned this, we're using the track chain off of one bulldozer. This track chain's in better shape, but the pads were modified, and the other track, the pads are actually really nice, but the chain is really worn out. So we're putting the two sets of tracks together, and we're going to make one good set of tracks. We finally got these pads cut off, and it's on the cart here waiting to go out to be cleaned and painted. Our next big project for the tug is going to be to deal with the front push plate, which has been sitting over here. I'm kind of ignoring it right now because it's going to be I don't know, it's very heavy, and I'm not looking forward to moving it around and messing with it. And then the front fenders, here's the wheels, ready to go off to sandblast. We've got one wheel was shot, so we have one brand new wheel, one brand new wheel spacer. The rest are okay. They just need to be cleaned. And then the front fenders but the front fenders will be the last thing to go on because they mount to the push plate. So that guy's got to be dealt with. You can see somebody cut it, and right now part of me just wants to put it back on like it is, and part of me wants to, make the missing pieces and weld them back on. I'm probably going to end up doing that. Yankee Air Museum has a tug like ours that has a good push plate on it. I want to go down there and use their push plate to make a tracing, and then use that to fabricate the missing pieces and weld them back in, and then get this sandblasted, painted, and put on. But first I want to make sure it runs, and once I have it running and all that good stuff, then I'll deal with the push plate and the front fenders. But right now I want to hear this motor go, make sure that everything's good, make sure that it goes through the gears okay. We went through the whole gearbox. It looks pretty good, but once again, this is a Clark specific gearbox. So finding, if the cluster gear is worn out or something, it's not that simple but everything looked okay in this gearbox. We put all new seals in it, we put all new bearings in it, and we'll see what happens. We'll get this thing fired up, we'll walk it through the gears. I gotta get the brakes bled, but the brakes are all new. And that'll be that. So, alright, so I rambled on longer than I anticipated or planned to, and it looks like the battery on my phone is going dead. So, until next time, join us again on our restoration adventures.